I have one slide to share to try and sum up a tremendous amount of material from the day. Yeah, so this is what I got from our first day, which was about working in the arts. And what I got is a tremendous concern of the reality of precarity and various forms of wage theft on the one hand. And on the other hand, dedication, despite precarity and various forms of theft, to the craft, and many forms of perseverance, more forms of perseverance than the various forms of wage theft. But just to go through some of the forms of precarity that we've discussed, um, we've talked about the fact that a majority of people in the entertainment world have second jobs. Many of them work as independent contractors. A minority work full-time, full year, unlike the rest of us. Many of them work for poverty wages and do so without the protections of pensions and health insurance that those in this last panel get because they're members of unions. The forms of wage theft are so numerous that I kind of ran out of space on a sheet of paper, but there's actual wage theft where people aren't paid for the hours they put in. There's implied wage theft when people use interns for months, let alone perhaps a year or two on end. There's the form of wage theft, which is externalizing the costs of development, and Professor Caldwell talked about that. And then there's outsourcing of acting and directing and writing and the crafts work to parts of the country that aren't unionized and to countries that aren't unionized. There's also and we heard about this several times, the taking advantage of the fact that this is an industry that people want to work in. They want to be arts workers. And unfortunately, many in the corporate side of things take advantage of that in order to drive down wages. But as opposed to that is the dedication, and we saw many, many examples of that through the day. I was particularly struck by both Victor's discussion of the use of collective action in the nonprofit world, and earlier by Balanced Breakfast's attempt to support each other. And that's what in the non-union side people are doing. But then in this last panel, we saw the value of collective action in its legal form of unionization, which is like everything else that's been described today, under attack. And I started the day by opening this up to a discussion for a minute of precarity and dedication in a different group of workers. That precarity and dedication befalls those of us who are funded by NIOSH, which the current administration decimated and is likely to lead to the end of our funding to continue the work that we're doing like this. But I also spoke to the dedication of my colleagues who are resilient, perseverant in the goal of making work a better place. So with that, we'll end day one. Welcome you back at 9 o'clock tomorrow for the day two, in which we'll be discussing what the arts have to say about work. I think it'll be equally instructive, and as Jolie Fisher said at the outset of the day, it will be the roses in contradistinction to the bread, which was the theme of day one. So without that, we'll end the day and thank everybody for attending and thank our panelists for an excellent job and our speakers who each did an excellent job. See you bright and early tomorrow.